Hey there, Brian Wright, founder and CEO of New Patient Group, managing partner, Right Chat. Interesting stat for you out from Dental Economics, as well as the Benson Koppel, big data guru in healthcare, is now people are shopping upwards of 5 practices before they decide which to visit. Now that stat actually continues, is that people actually visit 3 practices before they decide which to buy from. What does this mean? Simply put, the new patient phone call has never been this critical to the success of your business. Now, has it always been critical? Of course. 25 years ago, should you be training your people looking for solutions on the new patient call? Of course. But now it's unique, meaning that what worked 5-10 years ago in order to get people scheduled and psychologically prepared to come in and buy and show up, which is a whole nother story in itself, because if you have new patient no-shows, that is your receptionist's fault. That is not the patient's fault, consumer's fault. That's not the fault of a shopper. That is your receptionist's fault. We teach that here at Right Chat, also another company, New Patient Group. The point of this video today is just from a mindset standpoint, is that if you are looking to grow and you say, hey, what is the lowest cost way I can transform my business, my practice, and grow $100,000, $200,000 in a given year without advertising costs, et cetera, is you look at new patient call solutions. You look in the mirror and you say, maybe my receptionist is not trained enough from a sales standpoint, from a customer service standpoint, from a psychology standpoint, verbiage, presentation, all the skill sets that go into, because your receptionist is a non-clinical job. So because it's a non-clinical job, they've got to be trained by experts on the non-clinical world, because that inevitably is what the consumer can relate to, and inevitably what gets the consumer to show up to your doors, and inevitably what gets them to purchase treatment from you, your prescribed treatment. So reset that brain. Think to yourself, what can I do? What would happen if we lowered our no-shows? And this is an exercise I want you to do. Take your average case fee. If you don't know that number, you should. So find your average case fee. And then you're going to multiply that times these examples. Let's say we reduced our no-shows by 5 or 10%. How many more new patient opportunities would that give you a month times your average treatment fee? Boom. What does that equate to for a year? Next one. What if we converted another 2 new patients a month that right now my receptionists as a practice are answering and they're dropping because they don't know how to overcome a price inquiry, an insurance inquiry, a common objection, whatever it may be. Just maybe the fact that they don't know how to sell the value on you better than the other receptionists, these people that this caller is talking to. So you got 2 more patients there. Boom. Now you're about, you're probably 4, 5, 6, 7 more starts a month between just those couple examples, times your average case fee, times that by 12 months. This is how you grow your business. You look inside and you're constantly analyzing the leaky holes because they're everywhere. Every business has them. The goal is are you focused enough to understand that you have them and how you're plugging them? All right. The other one is let's say your receptionists are already scheduling at a high level. The question I have for you then is those people, are they showing up to your door psychologically prepared to come in ready to buy? Because I will argue that they are not. If you're an orthodontic practice, your same-day starts are a direct reflection on how the receptionist psychologically sold that person to be prepared to show up to buy from you day one. That's a whole world of skill sets. And here at Right Chat, it's a unique model. We're the first to do it. It's going incredibly well. The ironic thing, other company, New Patient Group, there were clients in New Patient Group that asked us to do a company like this for a long time. And long story short, it came to fruition and we launched, and it's unbelievable how it's going. And what is the model? Well, we're not a call center, but we are 2 things, all right? One, we're your everything new patient call division, okay? We answer your calls for you, all right? The phone calls come to us. We answer, speak, and remotely access your software just as if we were sitting at your front desk. The callers have no clue that they never called your practice. The difference is you have the peace of mind of knowing that new patient call is being handled the best in the industry, period, end of story. Our agents are insanely trained. They role play for an hour to 2 hours every week of their career. Ask yourself that, because that's part of your investment in Right Chat, is our commitment to excellence in training of our agents, our culture that makes sure the agents implement the training when we're not looking and you're not looking and your team isn't looking. Because that's the other piece. You can train all you want, but if the culture's not there, no one's going to implement the training. So you're also investing in the culture we have. to make sure your new patient calls are the best in the industry, not just with your competition. We want it to be the best of any place they've ever called. Forget healthcare. All right, when they hang up the phone, the call should be memorable, unique, unforgettable, innovative. And that person should be sold on buying from you, showing up to the appointment before they ever even arrive. We actually have clients who have patients that have written them 5-star reviews on Google before they showed up to the practice. Imagine that. Because the purchase happens over the new patient phone call. The days of get on and off the phone as quickly as you can. Of course, you don't want to stay on there for 20 minutes, but this whole 2 minutes and under that's taught by some large companies out there, it's bogus. It doesn't work anymore because you have to sell the value on why they should ever even choose you to begin with. Why? Going back to the Benson Koppel dental economics stat of people are calling 5 practices before they decide which to visit. Then, once inside the doors, they're shopping 3 different practices before they decide which to buy from. So the reality is the way we speak in the phones, the way we handle that, it accomplishes great things. One, what I already said is it gets people to show up at a higher level, reduces your no-shows, gets them psychologically prepared to come in and buy, and it converts new patients onto your schedule that your receptionist would have been likely to lose, put into those difficult situations. Goes back to, our people are so highly trained. Are you committed to role-playing with your front desk an hour or 2 hours every week the rest of your career? Hopefully your answer is no. Hopefully you don't have time for that. That's the beauty of outsourcing it to us. Now, sometimes you're the overflow. Occasional situation, just like with your practice, an occasional situation where people are on the phone checking people out and you miss new patient phone calls. It happens to your practice. How many a month? You don't know. That's the scary piece. But it's happening at least 2 or 3 times. Now, the bigger your practice, the more it's happening. But the reality is, even if you're missing 2 or 3 new patient calls a month, that's 2 or 3 potential starts. That's 24 to 36 starts a year. Let's say you're an orthodontic practice, you charge $5,000 a case. Do the math. That, from a CEO perspective, is how you always have to look at it. So all these, just on the new patient call, they all add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars of lost opportunities every year, whether or not you realize it or not. So the easiest way to grow at the lowest investment is look at your new patient calls. Look inside your doors. Look inside your doors. So because your team's going to be bigger, meaning that we're going to have a team of concierges assigned to you, right? What does that mean? More people to answer your phones. But in the case that we do miss one overflows, all right? Because it's possible, it happens, not often, but it does happen. Now you have your people as a backup, meaning more calls are going to be answered. It's a fail-safe, but also you're going to have our 8.5-hour phone training that you get access to. It's an on-demand course. It's unbelievable. It's the same training we put our concierges through. You're going to have that to make sure when your people do answer the new patient phone call, they knock it out of the park, just like ours. Now, here's one thing you may have not thought of. Client experience is everything. Now that starts in the new patient call. You could argue it actually starts with the way you do your online marketing, but it certainly starts with a new patient phone call. All right, how that goes. But once they buy from you, that's even more important. Harris Interactive did a study. Almost 90% of the people surveyed said they would choose and or remain with a business or a practice because of the quality of their experience, their customer service, over whether or not you were any good at what you did. So you think about that and you say, wow, this new economy we live in is client experience is everything. You're better off stinking at what you do, be offering a great experience than the other way around. It's crazy, I know, but the data proves it. So what does it do? Well, it reduces hundreds of minutes a month that your receptionist would have been dealing with the new patients. This opens up more calls being answered for your existing patients, meaning the experience is better. Nobody wants to have a purchase and then they go home and they call your practice, they need something and, hold, or we don't have time, the phone rings, it goes to voicemail. All right, that's not a good experience. Well, this opens you up to answer more of those. This opens you up to handle or operate a better, more efficient a client-patient experience inside your practice because people aren't inundated as much with this. It's an unbelievable game changer for your conversion internally as well. All right? So the way we do it here, pricing-wise, is it's a tiered system. It's based on how many new patient calls we actually answer for you, all right? And the tiered system works a little bit differently based on your practice. If you just opened up a practice yesterday versus if you've been around for 30 years, we can adjust how we do it here to make sure it works for you. But the goal is us as your new patient call division. Everything new patient. We're going to train your people. We're going to answer your new patient calls. We're going to lower your no-shows, increase your starts, and overall just make the headaches. The other piece And this is arguably the most important. And this is kind of the failed consultant model, I call this, where you invest all this money. Let's say you get your own people trained. Okay, great. What happens when they leave? Make-believe name Betty gets pregnant. Susie won't implement the training after you do 3 mystery calls. You have to terminate her. You're this constant battle of onboarding people, training them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, here's the beauty. You don't have to worry about that anymore. Why? You get our on-demand course that automates that training. But the other piece is that if you lose somebody, you don't care because we're the ones handling new patient calls anyway. All right? If we lose somebody, well, that's our problem. We have to train more people. You don't have to worry about it. It's a plug-and-play system. It's more efficient, et cetera, and it grows your practice more than any marketing you will ever do. And that's the piece I want you to keep coming back to is internal marketing always grows you more than any other marketing form. However, it's the least invested in. That's the challenge. Most business owners won't commit to it. So my question to you is, are you going to be the unique, innovative CEO and do things differently? Or are you going to do it how everyone else is doing it? My challenge to you is do it differently, and you will not believe the results. I know we can help you. Look forward to helping your practice and hearing from you here at Right Chat. Give us a call, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.